But my maternal grandfather was an English engineer. His name was Robert Ashley. He married my grandmother, who was from Uturu in Abia State, but was brought up in Kwale. So my mother, and that is Uturu in Abia State, but she was brought up in Kwale. So my mother, who is here, would always say that, ask her where she's from, as far as she's concerned, she's Kwale. So you can see the mixtures of different areas and from everywhere. So my family's roots are deeply embedded across Nigeria, and we proudly carry this diversity with us. From our early years, we embodied the spirit of the detribalized Nigeria. And our father, those days, would always say, he never tells you where he's from. You just ask him, he would just say, I'm a citizen of the world. And anytime you asked him, and that's how we grew up with that, we're citizens of the world, we're not from neither here nor there. So while, like I said here in my speech, while that approach may have been suitable in the early days of Nigeria, it no longer aligns with modern day requirements. So as I grew older and recognized the importance of a clear state of origin in our country, I made a vow that when I had my own children, they would have solid roots in their father's hometown, thereby eliminating any ambiguity about their state of origin. So when I married my late husband, Senator Amina Augie, in October 1979, I embraced his hometown of Arugungu as mine, and his people became my people. Yet I was stunned when the Emir of Arugungu, Alhaji Sumaila Mohammed Mera, announced at my 70th birthday party here in Abuja on the 3rd of September that I have been honored with the traditional title of Jaruman Kebi. When he announced it, he said, heroine of the Kebi Kingdom, but my letter of instrument of office or letter of appointment says that Jaruman Kebi is the star of the Kebi Kingdom, the first time in the centuries-old history of the kingdom that the traditional title has been bestowed on a woman. And I pray that this will also inspire other women that male-dominated fields everywhere, one day somebody comes to break it. In this particular case, God has chosen that I would now, all the way from everywhere, be the first woman to do that. So in addition, now when I take away the JSC, I can now carry my traditional thing with all that he blessed me with in his service and for mankind. He gives the best, he gives the very best to those who leave the choice to him. So I left the choice to him. He guided my steps up to this court, but I was a pencil in his hands, and he made the very best of me. We now come to the next part, which is obligations and responsibilities. So I said, as much as I hope that all that I have said so far will motivate and inspire young lawyers who aspire to reach this height to walk the walk and talk the talk on their journey to this court, I must add that getting here is one thing, what you do here is another thing. When I was appointed a High Court judge of Sokoto State, a mix of emotions overcame me. It was the culmination of years of nurturing a dream, a validation of my worthiness to serve in the temple of justice. The dream had been transformed into a reality. But as any judge will tell you, the honor of being a judge carries with it immense intellectual and emotional challenges. We grapple with intricate legal questions, which often strain the delicate balance between our objective interpretation of the law and personal convictions. In this role, the imperative is clear. Personal beliefs must yield to the dictates of the law. While there are instances where personal beliefs align with legal principles, each day on the judicial pedestal presents a new chapter in the internal struggle between our private convictions and the law. However, in no time, we learn to set aside personal beliefs as objectivity and impartiality are the bedrock of our profession. Yes, this does, but this, at the same time, this does not lessen the weight of our responsibilities, as the judge's career is marked by moments of deep introspection, where we face the mental anguish stemming from awareness that our pronouncements can deeply alter another person's life. The first time I sent somebody to prison when I was chief magistrate, the first day I ever had to send one young boy. I didn't sleep. I couldn't even eat. I was just imagining what the boy would have been going through. And I actually went out of my way to go and talk to the prison officials to please put him where, like the carpentry. I said, put him in the carpentry. They have a carpentry. They had sewing. Put him in carpentry, I think I said, so that at least by the time he comes out of prison, he would have learned a trade. Another time, I saw all these women. Most of them had killed their husbands, killed their mates, killed their stepchildren, and they were sitting there in the prisons because I was on a special committee that went round for prison reforms. So I go round and you see them. There was even one of them who killed her husband who told us that we should please try and free her, that she wants to go and do what? That she wants to go and marry somebody, to go and get married. The one you killed, like we were asking her, you killed one, you want to go back and kill the other. But I remembered, I witnessed a spectrum of emotions in court, especially in criminal trials. Anxious uncertainty of the accused, transformation of hope into dismay, the elation of acquittal, and the sad tears of families upon the conviction of their loved ones. Some decisions are straightforward, while others linger longer. It becomes even more challenging when we realize that our rulings can shape governance and impact the lives of millions. But as Thomas Hobbes aptly noted, a good judge must, and I quote, divest himself of all fear, anger, hatred, love, and compassion. It is a job that demands perfection from imperfect individuals, an arduous endeavor that we must undertake daily. It is a calling to serve, to rise above personal quirks and predispositions. Service entails pain, but it is pain I would willingly endure again. I come to the role and importance of the Supreme Court and the justices. Now, a justice of the Supreme Court everywhere, not just Nigeria, holds a pivotal position within the judicial system, tasked with upholding the rule of law, justice, and democracy. Their duties include interpreting the Constitution, setting legal precedent, and safeguarding individual rights, while also maintaining the separation of powers among the three branches of government. The Supreme Court is the final appellate authority, serving as a court of last resort. This role, therefore, involves making decisions that profoundly impact the liberty, lives, and property of individuals and even change the course of the entire nation. The legal issues presented in the Supreme Court are often highly intricate and nuanced. Justices of the court must grapple with these complexities to reach sound and fair decisions. And these decisions often involve complex legal, moral, and societal issues, making the burden of responsibility considerably heavy. Supreme Court decisions are collaborative efforts among the panel of justices, which may lead to internal disagreements, requiring the reconciliation of personal beliefs with consensus. Upholding ethical standards, particularly in a politically charged environment, presents challenges, but integrity is paramount. The Supreme Court decisions are subject to intense public scrutiny and analysis. The justices must navigate intricate legal issues, striving for fair and accurate decisions. They must also withstand public criticism, political pressure, and intense media attention while upholding their independence and impartiality. Upholding ethical standards and avoiding conflicts of interest can be challenging in such visible and politically charged environment. However, the justices of the Supreme Court must navigate these ethical dilemmas with unwavering integrity. In essence, being a Supreme Court judge entails the weighty responsibility of safeguarding the Constitution, ensuring legal accuracy, and protecting individual rights. Despite all that, and the challenges and intense scrutiny they face, their commitment to to upholding the rule of law remains paramount and unwavering. Now, my final words on the Supreme Court. On the 7th day of November 2016, I achieved the pinnacle of my legal career when I was elevated to the